Have you ever heard of the ancient philosophy of Stoicism? It's been around for over 2,000 years and was practiced by the likes of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Stoicism is often viewed as a philosophy for the old and outdated, but I believe it is still very relevant today. In this video, we will explore the relevance of Stoicism in the modern world and provide a critique of its principles. Let me start with a personal story. A few years ago, I was going through a tough time in my life. I was struggling with depression, anxiety, and a general feeling of discontentment. One day, a friend recommended that I read a book called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. The book is essentially a collection of his personal reflections on life and the universe, written during his time as a Roman emperor. Reading it was a transformative experience for me, as it introduced me to the principles of Stoicism and helped me shift my perspective on life. Research. Before we dive into the relevance of Stoicism in the modern world, let's briefly explore what it is. Stoicism is a philosophy that emphasizes the development of self-control and resilience in the face of adversity. It teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to let go of what is not. In essence, Stoicism is a philosophy of personal responsibility and self-mastery. So, why is Stoicism still relevant today? Well, research has shown that the principles of Stoicism can have a positive impact on mental health. A study conducted by the University of Cambridge found that individuals who practice Stoicism were less likely to experience symptoms of depression and anxiety. Another study found that practicing Stoicism can increase emotional resilience and help individuals cope with stress. Let's dive deeper into the research behind Stoicism and its impact on mental health. One study published in the Journal of Clinical Psychology found that individuals who practiced Stoicism showed a significant reduction in symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress. The study also found that Stoicism was associated with higher levels of life satisfaction and overall well-being. Another study conducted by researchers at the University of Exeter found that practicing Stoicism can help individuals cope with chronic pain. The study found that individuals who practiced Stoicism reported lower levels of pain intensity, disability, and emotional distress compared to those who did not practice Stoicism. Furthermore, Stoicism has been found to be particularly helpful in treating post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. A study conducted by researchers at the University of Pennsylvania found that Stoicism was effective in reducing symptoms of PTSD in military veterans. The study found that individuals who practiced Stoicism showed a significant reduction in symptoms of PTSD compared to those who did not practice Stoicism. Overall, the research suggests that practicing Stoicism can have a positive impact on mental health and well-being. It can help individuals cope with stress, reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, and even aid in the treatment of PTSD. However, it is important to note that Stoicism is not a replacement for professional mental health treatment, and individuals should always seek the advice of a licensed therapist or healthcare professional if they are experiencing mental health issues. Critique. While I believe Stoicism has many benefits, it is not without its criticisms. One of the main critiques of Stoicism is that it can lead to apathy or indifference. Some argue that by focusing solely on what is within our control, we may become indifferent to the suffering of others or to societal issues. However, I believe that this critique is a misinterpretation of Stoicism. Stoicism doesn't teach us to ignore the suffering of others, but rather to approach it with a sense of empathy and compassion. Another critique of Stoicism is that it can be seen as a philosophy that upholds the status quo. By accepting things as they are, we may become complacent and unwilling to challenge societal norms or injustices. However, I believe that Stoicism can be used as a tool for positive change. By focusing on what is within our control, we can work towards making positive changes in our own lives and in the world around us. Now, let's take a closer look at the critiques of Stoicism. One of the main criticisms of Stoicism is that it can lead to apathy or indifference. This critique is based on the belief that by focusing solely on what is within our control, we may become indifferent to the suffering of others or to societal issues. However, this critique is a misinterpretation of Stoicism. Stoicism doesn't teach us to ignore the suffering of others, but rather to approach it with a sense of empathy and compassion. In fact, one of the fundamental principles of Stoicism is to view all human beings as members of a universal community. Stoics believe that all people are connected and that we have a responsibility to help one another. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus stated, "As a member of the human community, nothing that concerns humanity is foreign to me." Therefore, the idea that Stoicism leads to indifference is a misinterpretation of the philosophy. Another critique of Stoicism is that it can be seen as a philosophy that upholds the status quo. By accepting things as they are, we may become complacent and unwilling to challenge societal norms or injustices. However, I believe that Stoicism can be used as a tool for positive change. By focusing on what is within our control, we can work towards making positive changes in our own lives and in the world around us. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of our thoughts and actions, to focus on what is truly important, and to work towards our goals with purpose and intention. These principles can be applied to social justice and activism. By focusing on what is within our control, we can work towards creating positive change in our communities and in society as a whole. In conclusion, while Stoicism is not without its criticisms, I believe that its principles can be incredibly beneficial in the modern world. By practicing Stoicism, we can improve our mental health and well-being, and we can also work towards creating positive change in our own lives and in the world around us. Stoicism is a philosophy of personal responsibility and self-mastery, and it can help us live more fulfilling and meaningful lives. Conclusion. In conclusion, Stoicism is still very relevant in the modern world. Its principles can help us develop resilience, cope with stress, and take personal responsibility for our lives. However, it is important to remember that Stoicism is not a one-size-fits-all philosophy. It is important to approach it with an open mind and to understand its principles in their entirety. Stoicism can be a powerful tool for personal growth and positive change, but it is up to us to use it in a responsible and compassionate way. Stoicism offers us a framework for navigating the complexities of the modern world. In a world that is often unpredictable and chaotic, Stoicism can help us cultivate a sense of calm and clarity. It reminds us to focus on what we can control and to let go of what we cannot, which can be especially valuable in times of uncertainty. Moreover, Stoicism can help us develop a deeper sense of purpose and meaning in our lives. By focusing on what truly matters, we can align our actions with our values and live more fulfilling lives. This is particularly important in a world that often values material possessions and external achievements over inner fulfillment. However, it is important to recognize that Stoicism is not a one-size-fits-all philosophy. Its principles must be understood in their entirety, and it should not be used as a means of avoiding or ignoring the suffering of others. Instead, it can be used as a tool for positive change and social justice, helping us to approach issues with empathy and compassion. Stoicism is a philosophy that has stood the test of time, and its principles can be incredibly relevant and valuable in the modern world. By practicing Stoicism, we can improve our mental health and well-being, and work towards creating positive change in our own lives and in society as a whole. It offers us a path towards personal responsibility, self-mastery, and a more meaningful and fulfilling life.